Drinker, I think drunkest I've been my whole life was Cinco de Mayo last year, August 16th. And I tell you what, one thing I don't do, though, is drink and drive very well. I've never done that well my whole life. You don't want to get caught drinking and driving. You a celebrity, you make the news. I remember the cake boss, Buddy Velasco, got a DUI. Can you imagine the cake boss in jail? I wonder if he took it in the bunt. Took it in a bunt. Start the bus. I had a buddy of mine retiring from the military. We took him to Las Vegas. He got hammered one night and picked up a redhead transvestite, and I tried to stop him. I'm like, don't do it. You don't know what you... Too late, he done it. Next morning, I see him hunched out there on the bench. I'm like, hey, how'd that work out for you last night? He said, it was weird. Not only did the drapes match the carpet, but I think I seen a curtain rod in there. I loved the military. I was in Fort Benning, Georgia here not long ago, and yeah, you know, it was weird, though. They didn't want me to perform. They just wanted me to show up, show the troops what they used to look like before they went to boot camp. So I went down there. I got to lose some weight. My tapeworm had a heart attack last week, all right? It ain't funny. You know you got to lose weight when you can use the back of your neck as a travel pillow. Ain't my fault I gained a little weight. It's Foxworthy's fault. All them dadgum Golden Corral commercials he does all the time. Piss me off, and I love that Golden Corral. You ever been that buffet in there? Oh, good heaven. My toilet had to take a knee one night after I went in there. That's something else. Oh, dadgum, I could have pooped through a keyhole at 50 yards after I was in there. That dadgum thing, I love Golden Corral. There's a lot of these health food police don't like you eating in there either. They make up stories to keep you out. This irritated me the other day. I'm on the internet. There's an icon on there. It says, click on this, you'll never eat at the Golden Corral again. I'm like, what's this bullshit? I click on it. It was me. I love that Golden Corral. I ate there last week so many times, Chris Christie started following me on Twitter. All right? I like how they have the sneeze guard on the buffet. They say that's for your health. If they really cared about our health, they'd have an electric fence around the buffet in there. I know what that sneeze guard is. It's to force the fat folks to get some exercise while they in there. Because they put all the good stuff toward the back of them sneeze guards, so the fat folks got to do squats and stretches when they go down that buffet line down there. Yeah, let me get that pudding right there. I like that pudding. Let me get them tater tots. I like them tater tots. That's right. Decent-sized fat feller can get 3 sets of 15 reps in there if he works hard enough at it. I seen a couple get married at the Golden Corral. I still remember the preacher. I now pronounce you 2 freaking losers. I was at the world's largest Golden Corral in Branson, Missouri. You ever been to Branson? I like Branson. It's fun. There's a lot of old folks down there, though. Good heavens. They had a show down there called Shake, Rattle, and Roll. I went to it. Turned out to be the audience trying to get to their seats. It's bad. I performed down there. I made an old woman laugh so hard, milk of magnesia come out of her nose. All right, I ain't kidding with you. They got a lot of storms down there that crop up. It's crazy. I was down there one year with my wife and my kids and my brother and my sister-in-law, biggest somebody you ever seen in your whole life, and about 270 pounds, 4'6". And everywhere we went, she was dressed in full camo. Everywhere we went, looked like we was walking around with a couple acres down there. You know, everywhere we went down there. You know, some people got their name on their belt. She had everybody's name on her belt, all right? She's a big one. But we was down there, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this tornado crop up. So the police car driving down the street with a megaphone going, funnel cloud, funnel cloud, funnel cloud. So we hauled out. She stayed out there. She thought they was yelling, funnel cake, funnel cake, funnel cake. And she got hit dead on with a tornado that didn't even budge her. She's bawling. I'm like, what's wrong? You hurt? Turns out she's pissed off because about every 3 minutes. I was down there in Florida. My mom had to make me a pair of boxer shorts out of a ShamWow when I was down there. I couldn't believe it. It was so hot in Florida one time, my grandpa replaced his hemorrhoidal suppositories with dilly bars. Dilly bars. This show should have been $300 a piece. All right, I'm telling you right now, that's a $300 joke right there. But it's hot in Florida in the summer. I remember in August one time, I had a buddy of mine, about 420 pounds. He'd leave my Target with a little plastic kiddie pool. I said, you ain't gonna fit in that to be cool. He said, no, the game's on. That's for bean dip. I shouldn't talk about fat folks, though. I got my own problems, so. I started losing me some weight 2 weeks ago because I had a tragic event happen to me, kicked my butt in gear, and it sucks when you have to have a tragic event to make fat folk lose weight. And a lot of people, it's a heart attack or diabetes, and then let me tell you what happened to me 2 weeks ago. For the first time in my life, I had to show my titties to get out of a ticket. But I did see something that did change my life. I was reading an article the other day, and it said carbohydrates is the fastest way to the grave. And I told my wife right then after I read it, I said, sweetheart, mark this down on the calendar right now, from now on, done. I'm not reading nothing. All right? I ain't read nothing since. My wife has me on a diet now she come up with called the We're Not Having Sex Till You Lose Weight diet. That's what she had me on. This is my impression of my wife when we're making love. I've tried a lot of stuff, tried a dietitian. They're just taking your money. I go see a dietitian. You know what he says to me? Larry, you need to eat 6 times a day. I do that now. Well, tell you, if I eat 1 more time a day, you're going to see me at Walmart on a scooter wearing pajama jeans. All right? That's ridiculous. Went to see a trainer. The trainer says to me, how many push-ups can you do? I said, I don't know, regular or girl push-up. He says, either one of them. I said, neither one of them. All right, I can't do either one of them. I was on Nutrisystem in 2005. Remember my Nutrisystem commercials? That's right. I think they probably pretty pissed off at me about right now. I'm bad for business, I guess. I'm the only guy ever gone from Nutrisystem commercials to heartburn medication right here on tape. Man, I'm 5 pounds away from a sleep apnea contract up here. What the hell? No, look, Nutrisystem worked for me. I just didn't do it right. I didn't know you weren't supposed to eat the packaging. All right, that's my problem there. Oh, proud to say OTC. God love them. They ain't the first, you know, the first people ever wanted me to do a commercial was 2003, Blue Collar TV. You know how they promote alternative fuels to be used? In 2003, they wanted me to test drive a truck, a pretty good-looking truck that run on human waste. That's true. I drove it for 3 days. What a piece of crap. 3 days, no pun intended. I go through the Taco Bell drive-thru in that deal, flooded the engine when I went through that deal. You believe that? It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. A buddy of mine had to come down there to drive-thru, give me a jump fart when I was down there to drive-thru down. If you can find another comedian in the country with a punchline of jump fart, I will kiss your hind end right now in front of everybody, because you're never going to find that. That's right. That's the kind of humor that gets the Grammy nominations right there. I like to hunt. I know there's a lot of hunters up here, and when I hunt, I do it a little different than most people. When I hunt, I dress all in orange from head to toe, and I hunt down by the interstate. That way the deer just think I'm a prisoner picking up trash out there. For y'all that don't hunt, did you know this? Did you know a deer gets a new rack every year, just like the Kardashians? Did you know that's true right there? Good zoo. I like zoos. You like zoos? I like good zoos. I don't like them. You ever been to a bad zoo with just regular critters, you know, like a bunny and a skunk and a goat and a cow, you know, crippled deer over there. The rhinoceros is just some fat kid with a chocolate-covered banana strapped to his forehead. Which, by the way, is the worst job I ever had in my entire life, by the way. Let me just say that. Every time I go to the zoo, all the good animals I want to see are sleeping already. What the hell? It's like Cosby got there 20 minutes before I did. What? Oh, come on. That's funny. I don't care who you are right there. Come on now. Hey, I told that joke at the zoo and the hyenas laughed their ass off at that, all right? Weirdest thing I ever seen at a zoo was a bunch of penguins and nuns staring at each other. Took my wife and kids to the Wisconsin Dells to the water park up there. That's right. You ever been to a water park? For all y'all ain't never been to a water park, picture everybody at Walmart with bathing suits on, all right? What the hell? That's where I found out a wiener twister wasn't a snack stand at the water park in there. Boy, they got some fast rides. They had one ride, 70 miles an hour. You get up there, straight down, halfway down, somebody's underbreeches and swim trunks went flying by my head. I'm like, oh, that poor guy. They were mine. Ah! That's one thing about a water park. Nobody goes home with a dirty butthole. I'll guarantee you that much right there. That's right. It'll clean you out good in there. Next time you can't afford the water park, just stand naked in front of a floor mirror and shoot your water pickup behind then, all right? It'll have the same effect. I almost got beat up at the water park. You believe that? I almost got beat up at the water park. I'm standing in line, get on this one water ride. There's a dude clutching on this big-ass inner tube. And I said, hey, where'd you get that inner tube? He said, what? I said, that big-ass inner tube you got there. He said, that's my wife, you son of a bitch. I said, "No." They got indoor water parks up there because it's so damn cold. What the hell? Anybody, I know it's cold here. You been to northern Wisconsin this summer? You know how long their summer lasts? 48 minutes. All right, I ain't kidding with you. I was just up there. I ain't kidding with you. You could have played this little piggy with my nipples when I was up there. My wiener was like a bear. It went into hibernation for 3 days. I ain't kidding. I could have flashed a cop and not gotten in trouble. I'm not kidding with you. You should have seen it. Looked like a helmet sitting on shrubbery if you looked real good at it. I wish my nipples and this would get together on the weather. My nipples love cold weather. My wiener hates it. I mean, it's cold. They're like, yeah. You know, he's like, ah. He's sucked up in there. It's embarrassing. I went to moon my cousin. Looked like I was pooping a mushroom. All right, I'm not kidding with you. Don't laugh at that. That's not even funny. I don't even know why you're laughing at that. Flipping freezing there. Remember I was there, the bed bugs at the hotel called the front desk and requested extra blankets. All right, I couldn't believe it. And I hate cold weather. I live in Nebraska. You talk cold. You know how cold it was Thanksgiving in Nebraska? This is a true story. There's a knock on my door, 6 o'clock in the morning. It was a turkey wanting to borrow my deep fryer. All right, I ain't kidding with you. It was freezing. My dog licked himself and got his tongue stuck. It was freezing. I had to wipe with an ice scraper. All right, they're not all funny, but they're in a row. All right, how's that? So I'm going for quantity, not quality here this evening, is what you have. I like warm weather. That's what I like. Bring on that global warming. That's what I say. People get nuts over that, don't they? Man caused global. We need to do something about the way we live and we heating up the earth. Oh, shut up. Well, you seen what happened in Washington, D.C.? 27 inches of snow. Explain that. All right, February. How's that? I ain't Nostradamus, but I have a guess what's going to happen in July, too. Hot. All right, it's going to be hot in July. I mean, it's stupid. I got a buddy of mine. Well, you go ahead and laugh. The Earth's heated up 0.7 of a degree in the last 100 years. Oh, well, what the hell? Go home and stab yourself in the face and end it, all right? Just end it if it's that bad. How many people have ever gone outside in 100-degree weather and said, boy, I'll tell